What's up, guys? So, today I finally get to discuss the so called thing that I keep leaving in the dark and I'm being so mysterious about, and that is I don't know if you guys have been around for that long to even know this about me, but about a year or 2 years ago, I cannot even remember. I filmed a video in which I talked about the reasons why I don't go to the doctor and why I feel like I should be going, but I just don't go. So today I had an appointment with a gynecologist. And the first and only time that I have been able to go to the doctor to do lady stuff was 2011. So I went because I was visiting my father and I was feeling some type of way. And then I said to Dad, I have something going on. I don't feel so good. So he took me to the doctor, and it turns out I had an infection. Those are super common, nothing to really worry about. But they did an ultrasound, and then they told me that, okay, I have a cyst growing on my left ovary, which is perfectly normal. Every time you're on your period, or sorry, every time you ovulate, a cyst forms. But sometimes they may not go away and they may grow and sometimes act up and turn malignant. So the doctor just recommended for me that I keep following up with that. However, back then, times were tough because, of course, I was living with my mother. My mother at the time, she didn't have a very secure job. So all of the spring of 2012 and the late winter 2011, she was jobless during that entire time. So even though was I still a minor? Yeah, I was still a minor. I cannot think or do math right now. Um, I still had insurance, but for some stuff, of course, you still had to pay for. And when your mother, who you're dependent on, is jobless, of course, you cannot be spending money like that because it's like, where are we going to live? What are we going to eat? And I was also in school, so I could not be just moving around, being interrupted, and whatever. So anyways, what ended up happening is I never went, and I knew that I had to check it at some point. Like, I needed to have that looked into, but I was just so worried. I didn't want to worry my mom. I didn't want to add any more to the burden and whatever. So, anyways, years passed, and I kept feeling like my symptoms were getting worse. It was like I was losing my energy, my hair was looking different, my skin was looking different. I had things that started like showing up, like that thing right there. It's like a mass, something that's growing. And the doctor, of course, wants to do a biopsy on that, like refer me to someone to do a biopsy. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that because I'm not in a very stable situation to be doing any of that. So, anyways, I just said, if it's something that can go away on its own, it'll go away on its own. But I just do not want to give my family a burden of any sort. So last month, I was feeling extremely bad. I mean, I was having pain, like on that side, and I was like, I think it's time that I called to at least do a checkup, even if it means paying for it little by little. And with the Obamacare stuff, it's not like that's really helping me much. So I need to call them again and find out for sure what it covers this year, because it seems that every year the insurance covers less and less. So I was like, you know what? The best way to avoid the stress and frustration is to just not worry about it. Don't look into it. Don't get sick. Don't go to the doctor. Avoid the stress and whatever. So, anyways, last month on the 14th, I was like, I feel bad. I've been having nausea. I've been feeling weak. I've been having numbness on my limbs. I've been gaining weight and I haven't been able to lose it easily, or I've been having trouble maintaining my weight. And when I thought about it, I said to myself, well, my performance at the gym has been pretty mediocre, since I haven't been feeling so well, so maybe that has something to do with it. And my appetite has been fluctuating. Sometimes I could eat, other times I couldn't eat anything. So I said, let me just have a checkup. So before you get checked by a doctor, they hand you this questionnaire. And all of the questions that were there, I was like, oh my God, I am dying at an accelerated rate because it's like I felt like I was checking off on everything. Like, do you have trouble sleeping? Do you have problems feeling tired? Are you feeling any kind of pain? Are you feeling this and that? And it was like, yes, 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 yes. So I'm like, okay, this is already not looking good. So I was telling my doctor once again what my symptoms were. I'm like, my periods are longer than normal. I skipped a few months and I have not been sexually active, so it has nothing to do with that. And then finally she was like, well, we need to do an ultrasound, especially if you have that pain in your abdomen that you cannot figure out. And I was like, how much is that going to cost me? And that changed the conversation. Absolutely. Entirely. And then she said that her hands were tied after she got my like when I did the so-called pee in the cup thing. She was like, I need to look at some stuff, but I don't want to put you through some blood work nor what is it, the ultrasound, because that's when your insurance, which we can see that it's very basic, very little. We cannot tell you what the price is going to be until we do this stuff, and then it gets billed to your insurance, and then your insurance negotiates it with the health provider, and then that's when they determine the price, so on and so forth. And I'm like, I know that. So basically, it was a mentally and emotionally frustrating experience because everything that she told me about my symptoms and how I need to be checked and this and that, I already knew that. I don't want to sound like I'm full of myself because, I'm not a professional and I'm not qualified at all. But I was telling a friend, I feel this way, and I know that what's causing it is this and that. I am having trouble with this and that, and the lying causes this and this. And I knew everything. It was like I could tell the doctor what to tell me before she. Yeah, I almost felt like I let her talk, but in my mind, I'm like, I could have your job, lady, because the only thing I would need training on is how to read the stuff and the instruments. But I knew about this. Like, I know my body, I have had it forever, and I also used to study because I was aspiring to have a job like that. So, it was just frustrating because I was ready to at least have a different outcome, be like, okay, I'll be able to find something out. But because I did not get to go to the doctor when I was younger, I am behind on a lot of things. So she wanted to refer me to another doctor, like a physician, to look into my other stuff that concerned her. Because she's like, well, I'm only a gynecologist, and then you have other symptoms that I cannot have an opinion on because it's not what my focus is. And I'm like, I understand. I get it. And that's the problem. That's why I never wanted to go and be involved with the doctor because once they have you, they have you. It's like they gotta send you here and here and here and there and there. Every doctor's gonna be telling you something different. And I'm like, if someone can give me a definitive answer of what I can expect and what the cost is going to be, I feel like I can do it because I'm a planner. I can only get involved in things when I know that I can handle it. But the more questions I asked, the worse it was getting for me. And that's the thing that, more than the physical pains that I have, I was more frustrated by the fact that I was having to face the concerns that I have always had and the reasons why I never do anything, why I never go to the doctor, which is, well, it's going to be expensive. I never know exactly what I'm going to pay for when I walk in there, and even the stuff that I pay up front, that's not everything. I'm going to get stuff billed bill to me, and that's going to add up and contribute to stress, and then you just never know. Sure, I can set up payment plans, but just to name you some examples, if I go, if I would have done everything during this visit, that's one bill that I have. If I go to the physicist that I would have been referred to, that's another bill that I have. Although they are small payments, let's say I set a minimum payment of $25 for every single bill that I have. That's 25 plus 25, that's 50, plus another 25 from another doctor, that's 75, another 25, that's going to be $100. It's like if I go to five different doctors to look into every single thing that's wrong with me, I'll be I'll fall into this trap and have a complete new bill that I'm just not ready for God knows how many months. And then my insurance may do a little bit for me, but that's the problem. It's like, how much is it going to do for me? And I don't want to go back into being super tight with bills like I used to be. Like, I did all the math before going to the doctor's office. I was like, she's going to say, I gotta do blood work and I gotta do an ultrasound, and I am going to decline because I'm not ready for that. So before going to the doctor's office, I had calculated all of that based on the idea that they gave me on stuff that I can expect to pay for if I go through those things. I was like, I am not going to have money for anything. Not gonna have money for gas, not gonna have money for groceries. Basically, all I'm going to do is the few little rocks that I bring home with me, I'm gonna have to be giving it to the doctor. So I said, you know what? If my situation is really that bad, I'm just gonna ride through it for as long as I can, but I don't want the burden on my family and I don't want the burden on me. At least I know that I am right at having a concern and feeling so bad and so terrible. But nobody deserves to be in this situation where you have to be making decisions on where your money goes. My mother, of course, wants to help, but her hands are tied. She has stuff going on, and my brother has stuff going on, so both of my parents are helping them. So I don't want to add to that stress, you know? So I think more than the physical problems that I had, emotionally, it was just messing with me more than anything because I'm like, what should I do? Should I just get indebted and then pray to God that somehow stuff is just going to work out? I can make a few phone calls. I can try seeing who's gonna have like the best deal in town, to name it something. I can call my insurance and see what I can expect. But of course, they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't know what to tell you because you haven't done anything. You haven't seen the doctor. We don't have a bill in front of us." And I'm like, nobody fucking has answers for me up front. And that was the most frustrating thing about it. What I pay is not necessarily what my mom would pay if she were the one going. She has a little bit of coverage. If my brother were to go to the doctor for some other reasons, what he'll pay is not the same thing that I'll pay. Even someone who is my age and is going to the doctor for the same things that I have, she may not get charged the same stuff that I'll get charged just because of something stupid as insurance. So I said, you know what? I'm not ready for this. I don't want to deal with it. If you cannot tell me what is wrong right now, give me some months and maybe I'll collect the money. Like when I when I am determined on something, when I have a focus, I'm really good about saving money. But it's just so frustrating because the little bit that I'm finally setting aside, it's like, well, fuck. It's not even something that I get to save for the future that I barely even have now. Because, you know, politically, we all know how the situation is. So while avoiding some demons, like, say, student debt and whatever, now this is starting to happen. So it all feels like a huge psychological toll. And I said, I don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, you guys, I could get into more details on what happened in the appointment, but I'm honestly not in the mood. But but before the appointment, I was so determined to not go. so infuriated. I could not find the address. I could not find my car keys. I could not find anything. I was like mad and shaking and crying. It's like everything female about me, like emotions, it all it all caught up with me and happened at the same time. And I was feeling so pitiful. I was like, why am I an old ass lady and I cannot handle anything? you know? And then after the appointment, I just sat in my car for about 40 minutes and I was texting someone and I was like, I cannot handle anything right now. I don't want to eat, but I am super hungry. I don't want to drink anything and I'm super thirsty. I don't want to I don't want to be alive right now. I just felt so miserable because I had a lot of things going on in my head about what it means to be in this situation. I'm not even, it's like my physical status doesn't even concern me. It's more how I'm going to be affecting those around me more than anything, you see? So I just needed to let go, talk about it. I talked to a friend and I talked to a colleague who's also my one of my best friends, and she was reminding me of the stuff that I can do, like my resources, the resources at work, the resources outside of work, and of course, um, my mother could possibly do something for me since she works for a hospital, but unfortunately, open enrollment is over. And I said to mom, Ma, I have known that, but the reason I didn't want to bring that up is because you already get a lot deducted from your paycheck and you have a lot of things that you're dealing with. So I did not want to add more to your burden. Why am I not handling stuff on my own? So basically, I was just beating myself up because I'm like, I just don't feel like dealing with anything. And that is like the biggest flaw to my character. I don't feel like going to school. I don't feel like challenging myself by being, say, a full time employee. It's like, no, I can barely handle working 4 days out of the week. Imagine only having 2 days off. I'm just weak in that department. I said, I would rather live limited and modestly than put myself through that and become a zombie, you know? But, anyways, guys, I needed to share that and let it go. And that's my way of doing it. So, I'm going to catch up with your comments in a second. I'm just losing control, as you can see. But it was just so frustrating. Like, I had such a bad headache. Like, only now am I feeling some relief. But it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my god. But, anyways, I'm gonna catch up with what you guys are saying. Just bear with me. Garuda and Dan says, Hi. Hi, guys. Start eating more healthy. I might not be able to marry you, but healthy food is always good. Yes, I have finally made a plan to get back to eating better now that the what can I say? Now that the holidays are over and I have a better schedule and I'll be less stressed about certain things. I have already started to lose that weight that I gained during the past few months. And of course, I'll go back to staying on top of my vitamins and stuff because I stopped drinking my protein powders. I'm telling you, I couldn't. Sometimes I couldn't even eat from how bad it got. But don't worry, I'm working on it. It's like I needed a refresh. I needed a fresh start. So this is definitely the first step for me. And sometimes I need for something like this to happen to help me get there. Because in the mornings, I may wake up at a perfect time, but I feel like a train ran over me and I just cannot get up. When I go to work, I've been narrowly making it before I'm considered tardy. Like I I clock in during my extra window that work gives you to clock in before you're considered late. So I knew that was a problem. Why do I set my alarm for exactly an hour and 10 minutes before my shift, but I cannot get up and move? It's like physically I cannot do it. So, but anyways, I've been implementing some things in my day to help me out, like I try to at least wear the first layer that I'm to save time in the morning. But lately I've been getting up 30 minutes before my shift, and my commute is 11 minutes long, and to get ready it usually takes me about 20 minutes, and that means that I show up to work without eating. So it's like I know that I'm not doing myself any favors, but trust me, I don't know how to explain it. I cannot move. It's weird. I used to not be like that, and this problem started happening within the past year. So so yeah, you guys, this is pretty much going to be a stream of me just telling you how disastrous and how weak I am. But yeah, just needed to tell you so that I can let go. Try the only steak and or potato diet. Home cooked food. Your body might have an allergic reaction to fast food and man-made chemicals. Yes, I am actually someone who is gluten intolerant. I'm not supposed to be eating gluten at all, but gluten is everywhere. So now the idea of me having to be zooming into everything that I eat is so daunting for me. And on the note of fast food, I did have a month where, because I knew that I was needing to recur to fast food due to stuff happening in my life and my schedule being tight, I was like, this is going to come bite me right in the rear. And I am going to suffer a lot, but I'm like, either shut my stomach up or be in an empty stomach. And trust me, every time I would eat, I would feel terrible. So I said, well, if I'm going to commit the sin, how about if I make a video about it? So that's why there was like that 1 week where it seemed that every day I was posting a fast food video. Well, that's what happened. Because I'm telling you, it was crazy. I didn't even have time to stream. If I cannot have time to do something as simple and effortless as streaming, you know that shit got real in my life. And eventually I'll share with you guys exactly what it is that happens, because I know that that's like a little dark area that I haven't shared yet, but it's just difficult because I don't want to be sitting here venting, like people's business. I don't have to name names and stuff, right? But maybe by me expressing what it is that's happening, it may, like, you know identify that person, and it's like that's not my intention, but anyways, it it's difficult. It's just difficult, but we'll get to it. It's just that right now it's not the best time, but I love to share everything that happens to me with you guys because you guys have just been like family to me. So stay away from processed foods, syrup, and candy. Yeah, definitely. I have done I cannot talk right now. I have been doing so much better about avoiding sugars. So definitely, that is a great way to start. Try eating steak only. Doctors cannot make money without charging people of medicines. I believe anybody gets sick, doctors would help for free. Are you a vegan? I am not a vegan simply because realistically, being vegan is just incredibly difficult for me. And I also, I'll admit it, I cannot imagine having that, what is it, discipline. Avoiding fish, avoiding meat and stuff. It's like I use fish and meat to supplement my protein, but I do really good about getting protein from like seeds, nuts, and things. But sometimes I need a little more. I need a heavier meal. So I like to stick to fish, but lately I have been doing neither. I have not been getting the amount of protein that I need at all. So I'm sure that's catching up with me. But I'm not I'm not saying absolutely no to being vegan. I do mess with vegan products, But for me to be able to sustain a vegan diet, I'll admit it, I cannot do it. I just, it's like I would need to have a plan right in front of me and stick to it somehow. But realistically, it's like at some point, I'm not going to be thinking about that. So, yeah, guys, this is going to be very frustrating and very difficult because I will sound like I'm not doing myself any favors. And it is true. For me, everything just feels so overwhelming, so daunting, so terrible. I feel like a disgusting human all the time. But, at least I like to start with baby steps. And it takes me a long time. And that's the problem. My body is telling me that I don't have time to be taking my time like that anymore. So, again, bear with me. This is going to be an incredibly difficult thing to address with me. It's like talking to a rock. but, uh, but yeah, trust me, I've been experimenting with things. I've been trying. I know the source of the problem. I've identified it. Now the thing is doing it. And that's the thing that it's like the link in my brain to do that is just missing. But I promise you that I'm trying. I am definitely recurring to the things I used to do a couple of years ago to where I looked and felt a whole lot better. So I just need to, try. I totally understand. It so sucks, but if you don't go, it could become even worse if the conditions get worse. It's the one thing that really sucks about American healthcare: make smaller payments. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I told myself, and that's what the doctor also said. She was like, "Well, since we have identified that there are problems, we definitely should do something about it." And I'm like, either way, it's like either way, it's terrible. Either way, it sucks. And I'm like, I would rather just disappear from the map than being kept alive and all caught up and miserable. See what I mean? Like, I know that's a terrible thing to say, but seriously, the idea of me living, going appointment after appointment after appointment, and also having this financial burden. No, no, no. If I need to be the next person that adds up to the statistic of people who just didn't make it due to lack of resources, and then this serves as the catalyst for whatever needs to happen to make things better, sure, I'll serve as it. But seriously, it's more emotionally challenging than anything else because it's like there's stuff that I want to do. But when I examine the consequences of every little action or inaction on my part, it's like, what is the fucking lesser of the two evils? See what I mean? So, but anyways, at least we're having the conversation. The hospital will allow smaller payments. Yeah, fortunately, there is such thing as setting up a payment plan. My concern is that the doctor wants to send me to many different places all at once, and I'm like, I could only do maybe two visits is pushing it, but two doctor visits per year, so that I don't get overwhelmed with my bills. Because, like I was explaining earlier, it's like one person's gonna ask for their minimum payment, another person's gonna have their minimum payments. It's gonna be a whole lot of debt, a shit ton of debt, and like I said, I'm definitely not in the condition to be doing that. So my body is gonna have to do its thing, whatever it can. Doctors give people half medicine, but not the whole real medicine. I'm so sorry, darling. It sucks. You need to change your diet. It is that simple. You have to change the things that you eat. Lay down and try to sleep. When you wake up, you may have other answers. Keep talking to your family and loved ones. The hospital may have a social worker to help you give advice too. Yep, I will definitely be getting in touch with those folks soon enough. Everything will be alright, Zambia. I understand. My mom needs medicine every month for her heart. Won't skip. Thank God my mom is fine. Read the comments. Don't cry, Zambia. Everything will be alright. Yeah, honestly, this frustrates me because this conversation is not difficult for me at all, but I just get like frustrated, nervous. It's like a lot of things are happening, and if I were if I were like a different person, different personality, I would probably be angry and shouting. So I guess to remain calm, it just happens. Like, but this is not ruining me at all. Like I'm still the same cool, chill, laid back person. It's just damn, you know. But it's all right. My body just wants to talk, I guess. Zambia, I remember I got bit by a spider. My finger got so big. It was hurting so crazy. Like I got shot. I went to the doctors and they didn't do anything about it. If you have a nose cold, then you need fruits like oranges and tangerine. Don't forget vitamins. Get the real fruit. Oh yeah. Um, I have not taken any kind of medication, like either over the counter or anything. I haven't taken anything in decades. Like the last medicine that I can actively remember taking was one that I took like two caps of because I had like a stomach bug or something back in 2017. And that was it. After that, I never messed with a medicine again. And prior to that, the last time I had a medication was I was a teenager. I caught the cold or something. I caught something. And then the doctor gave me a refill on that one medicine that I was used to. And after that, I said, how about if I allow myself to get sick? See what my body can do. And then eventually, every season, particularly every cold season, I would get symptoms of something. I would have a really bad cold between November or February, like during the winter. And after that, I stopped getting sick. This year, I haven't been sick at all. The only time I had something going on was when the temperature would get to like minus something something. Um, my nose would get stuffy and stuff like that, but it's not like, wow, I have a fever. Wow, my muscles are aching, my joints are messed up. Nothing like that at all. This is the third consecutive year that I don't get sick at all. The last time that I had any symptoms like that, it was like 2016 or 2015, where I tried this one. I think it's like a French medicine or something. It has a really weird name. It starts with an O and it's really long. It's like Oscillum, something. Maybe one of you guys out there know what it is, but I think it's spelled Oscilloccinum, Oxycinum, something. I don't know. I found it to be effective when you have the symptoms of the flu, but I did not feel like I was being affected by the flu at all. It was just I was experiencing some kind of fever, and it wanted to turn into something bad, but it never evolved into anything. So overall, I'm a pretty healthy person. It's just that my hormone imbalances and my period is the only thing that I need more intervention with. I was taking this one supplement. It's like Dong Quai or something. It seemed to be working pretty good, but I never knew for sure that it was making my symptoms better. So I would be willing to try more herbal things, more natural remedies, and the doctor mentioned a few of those. So I'll start messing with that at some point. But yeah, I just needed to know what's wrong with my body. But unfortunately, those answers lie in the blood work and the ultrasound, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. But I have established a another appointment for March. So by that time, I'll just save up every penny like crazy. And then hopefully when I call my job's like help number, they may be able to actually pull some strings for me and then help out. So I'm eager. I'm eager. And fortunately, you guys remember that little business that I was telling you guys that I was starting about selling clothes? I have been selling a few things. So even though it's, maybe 10, $12 that I make with the 5 things that I have sold, at least it's something. That was grocery money right there. So I am so proud of myself. I'm so excited that at least I made that money on the side. And I noticed the difference too. So at least when I am not on the clock, it's like I'm doing things to supplement my income, and it's going pretty well. So I'm excited. I just have faith that everything will work out for me. So don't even worry. I just want to like keep you guys informed in case y'all see me acting weird, or maybe if at some point you don't hear from me much anymore, at least you have an idea. But it's all right. Where am I at? You really need to work with the doctors first. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Vitamins is big pharma. Go to the natural source. 2 days later, my mom busted my finger. It was so greasy and nasty. You have to build up your immune system. I no longer want you to do eating fast food videos. Yeah, don't you worry. The last time I had fast food, it was actually, there was a morning that I picked something up because I knew that my shift at work would be really long before I could take my break. So, sometime last week, I fell victim to the almighty biscuit from Chick-fil-A. But I promise you that I have not had actual real junk fast food since late December? Yeah, late December, something like that. Um, and then at home, I was sticking to protein powders and stuff, but protein powders and then cooking. And I was so excited when I was having time to finally cook like I used to because I was feeling a whole lot better. I had more energy. I was stronger. But oh yeah, speaking of stronger, I was like I gained weight to where okay, my my blood pressure and everything was fine, but it's like my BMI, which is something that I don't even know that I have faith in. I was asking the doctor, "Are you sure that that's actually me being like out of shape and fat and not the fact that being bloated due to my symptoms makes me look like a damn whale?" But anyway, she was like, "Well, your blood work could give me some more answers or something." And I'm like, "Okay, sure. I understand." But I was just shocked that apparently I had really like gotten much bigger than I thought. And I'm like, "No, that's weird because I've been observing my body and I know that." But anyways, stuff will get better. I already have plans for that, and my refrigerator is restocked with the good shit. Like I got a whole pound of spinach and I got my carrots and then I also have a ton of beans lying around and everything. So like, the veggies are there. The supplements are there. Like the nutritional stuff is there. I just have to get around to doing it. But yeah, I was like, God damn it. I yeah, just get it going. Hopefully that made sense. I'm having trouble formulating sentences right now. Forming sentences right now. Zamri just eat salads, baked fish, smoothies, diet, candy bars, water. Please don't worry about your size. You're super Zamri, no matter what. Oh yeah, I'm not really worried about size. Like, I still go to the gym. I still work out. I'm still taking care of myself. It's just that my body is breaking down in some areas, and I'm like, okay, let's fix it. And guys, my biggest accomplishment for the year that I am super proud of is the fact that I have been drinking tea. So that's something that I used to not do at all. So that's already a sign that my diet has been improving significantly. I never ever thought that I would voluntarily opt for drinking tea, but it's been happening. It's been happening. If you do make, I guess, the fast food videos I won't watch, I can make you a plan. Ruda, yes, make me a plan. Feed me. Make me a plan. I guess my goal would be, how about this? I would like to try challenging myself to be so-called vegan for a week, because I have never gone more than 2 days being vegan. But the problem with veganism is that if I think about that term in its entirety, it means more than just not eating from animal products. But at least I can try, a better diet, because I can notice the difference in the body shape and skin of people who are vegan versus those who are not. But like I said, it's when you're so overwhelmed and exhausted and everything, your brain is just not functioning like it needs to. So that's why I told myself it's a problem that's now getting out of control. And that's what I had always feared. But at least it feels good to know that I'm not alone. Like this is not hopeless. Like there was a time in my life when I felt completely hopeless, but that's when I started gaining control little by little. And this happened like pretty recently, 2 years ago. And I said, you know what? I just don't want to. I don't want to go down without a fight. So that's how I got to where you guys see me at today, where I'm a whole lot better. But yeah, definitely. Candy bars, chips, fast foods, pop juices, liquor, beers, eating heavy at night are the worst things in a person's body. Yeah, fortunately, I don't mess with like that type of thing, especially alcohol. And I love that question in a questionnaire thing. And then the doctor followed up. She was like, "Do you ever do street drugs? Do you ever smoke? Do you ever drink socially or excessively?" And I was like, basically everything. I was just no, 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 no. I have no life, lady, no life. but it just felt nice. I felt proud that I was able to say no to every single thing that was there when it comes to that department. Um, let's see. I am 32. My body has been trying to tap out. I just tell my body to shut up and figure out what it needs. Exactly. I've been experimenting with my body on a lot of things. Zamri, do you notice that unhealthy fast foods are super cheap, but the healthy food prices are super high? America is the most fattest foods ever. Yeah, absolutely. That is something that I talk about with my friends and colleagues all the bloody time. It's like, yo, how is it that a goddamn salad, which is just leaves and stuff that you just pluck out of a tree, very little preparation, why is that so significantly expensiver more than everything else? But when it comes to the salads, I said maybe the reason they're expensive is because since it's a product that is susceptible to spoiling, to make money out of it, you price it higher because you don't sell that as much since people do not opt for those things. So, people who sell foods, of course, it's a business, they're trying to make money. So, they'll make it more expensive because it'll spoil fast. So, whatever they do sell, they want to make good money out of it. But in reality, that mess is probably cheap as hell. So, but yeah, yeah, that's what I think. And when I said that to who was it? I think it was my boyfriend. He said it made a lot of sense. Um, yeah, and then junk food, of course. Junk food is cheap because, of course, it gets so processed and so many additives, preservatives. So that means that you can keep that stuff around for longer. Whereas fresh, healthy foods, those spoil quickly. So you want to make money out of that. So to make money out of that, you cannot make money on a product that's gone bad. So that's why you have to price it higher. Some evil shit. Um, shoot, I lost my place again. Okay, they are. There are many people that survive what these idiot doctors say. I care. I want to help. Eat steak and oranges or tangerines. I love oranges. Have you guys ever heard of sumo oranges? I think they're supposed to be a cross between a navel and a cara. Or maybe it's a cross between a mandarin and a navel. I know that a navel orange is in it. It is the most delicious orange I have ever eaten. But they're so difficult to come by. I think the season for them is only this season, like late in the winter, because that's the only time I get my hands on them. But if you guys ever see a sumo orange, it's like wrinkly looking, and it has like a little nipple sticking out of it. Please grab it, try it. It's so easy to open. Just flip it, and then the inside of it is like you can just poke it, and you don't even have to peel it with like a knife or anything. You can just literally stab it with your finger from the bottom, and it'll just blip, open. So it's so delicious, so delicious. It seriously breaks my bank. They're kind of expensive, but I love when I see them at the grocery store. Um, let's see. I don't mess with steak much. I love steak, but I don't cook it. Why don't I cook it? um, Most medicines are not good at all. Most doctors make pills to make up sickness. Do y'all seen the commercials of medicines? It's so crazy. Yeah, for me, the thing that makes me think very critical about it is there are some conditions that it is said we don't know the causes of, depression being one of them. If you don't know what causes depression, how can you have something that supposedly fixes it? You know, how can you have a solution to a problem when you don't know what the root cause of it is? So that's what made me feel really suspicious and question everything. And then, same thing with endometriosis. Apparently, we don't have a cure for it. So I'm like, what is all this bullshit medicine that you keep prescribing to us women when you don't know what the real cure is? And supposedly, there's this uh it is said that there is like a cure for diabetes or something, but of course they don't want to put it out there because if you cure someone, you lose them as a customer. Excuse me, you lose them as patients. Remember, you're not a customer when you're at the doctor's at all. Nah, you're just a patient, a sick human in need of attention. You're not a customer. No. But anyways, yeah, to me that was incredibly just shocking. I'm like, what if it's true? What if there is a cure out there already, but it's being kept from people? Um, but anyways, I'm sure that we don't have the answers to everything because we may be advanced on a lot of stuff, but I have no doubt that there's a lot of stuff we don't have answers to. But I just think it's crazy that they're trying to convince you that this thing that has a label and powder in it and it's shaped in some way that has a cure. Like, no. Why do you care about my survival? Right, to capitalize off me. So what can I say? You can only be stupid and naive on something for so long. See what I mean? Before you start observing things, you hear what other people say, what other people experience, and you're like, wait a second, there's a pattern. Let's look into it. And then someone emerges who does their research, puts information together, interviews people, and that's the person who serves as the catalyst for major change and getting into people's brains and being like, maybe we're living a lie, maybe we're being deceived. See what I mean? So, so yeah, crazy stuff. Let me see. Where am I at? Check out the Hill-Burton Act. They are required to provide services for free or at a reduced cost. If you can, Holger, tweet that at me because unfortunately I will forget. And then all of my writing materials are like so not at reach right now. Women's body gotta be careful more than us men. If a woman smokes or do drugs, it's really worse than a woman's body. Oh my god, yes. It's like we have absolutely zero resistance for anything. That is so true right there. Because for me, it's like, how come when my brother or my dad or my boyfriend or anybody, when they get sick, how come they can just push along, and it's like you cannot tell that they're sick unless um they're like vomiting or something in front of you. It's crazy. Whereas for me, when I observe myself and other women, it's like, okay, the women who I know who smoke, it's like you only have to be messing with stuff for like maybe a month or so, and then you get really screwed up in your body. To me, that is so shocking. Like, it is incredibly shocking how different we are. Like, our build, it makes all the difference in the world. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Tea is good. Water and smoothies. I do love your smoothies, Emery. Jordan, I have not forgotten that I want to try that recipe that I tweeted you about when was it? 2 months ago? So I shall gather the ingredients soon enough and make it happen. But yeah, yeah. I haven't forgotten. I promise you. It's written on my clipboard. I just need to gather my supplies and get it going. And hopefully Garuda will approve of that smoothie video because he already has flagged my fast food videos. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, I'll do better. I promise. Drugs suck. Healthy foods are super high. That is really awesome. No booze, drugs, smoking, etc. So proud of you. Yeah, absolutely. I am like the most boring person to talk to if you want to talk about stuff like that. It's promoted as exciting and stuff, but I have never smoked. I have had drinks of course, but I just do not have the taste for alcohol. My mom makes this drink with eggnog, like she adds, I don't know what the hell she adds, some kind of clear liquid, and makes it alcoholic, of course. And then I have a sip of it, and it just doesn't work for me. I'm like, Mom, it's not nasty, but that alcohol taste is just like, I cannot describe it. It's like a punch to the face. And then that burn that you feel in your throat. Fuck that. I hate it. I hate that feeling so much. Um, and then don't even get me started on liquor. If I were to try liquor, that'll rip an entirely different hole in my stomach. I can just tell. And even folks who are experienced with alcohol, some people do not survive that mug unscathed, okay? So I'm not even going to mess with that. Um, and then when it comes to smoking, I did that smoking video the other day, but the smell of it alone just turns me off. It's like, I would imagine that that's like you have a constant ashtray on your lungs. And don't even get me started on that breath that smokers have. It's like people who drink coffee and those who smoke are the people who really want to get really close to your face and talk to you. Does that happen to you guys? It's like someone who has been drinking coffee all morning, and that's when they want to whisper at you and get really close to your face like, "No, get away from me. Fuck you. I don't like that smell." And that's when you want to be really close to my face. No, bye. Bye-bye. But yeah, it's I don't like that. I don't like that scent. Not at all. Um yes, you're telling the truth. I don't do GMO fruits, neither should you. Oh yeah, genetically modified orgasms. I mean organisms. Um, when it comes to GMOs, I am so happy that grocery stores are doing so much better about labeling stuff as GMO or non-GMO. And there's stuff that's pretty much inherently GMO, like a crap ton of corn. It's like corn, it's almost guaranteed to be GMO. But at least we also have the organic labels and stuff. But if you think about it, from what I understand, even if something is labeled as organic, it doesn't mean that it is 100% organic. Something can be made from organically grown stuff, but that does not mean that the entire product is 100% organic. It's like, I think something can be classified as organic if it's what, 75% organic? Like if the ingredients are like 75% of it has organic ingredients, I forget. But I was so mind blown because I'm like, you're still allowing for ingredients that are not completely, you know, organic to be present in the food. So why bother labeling something as organic if it's not 100% organic? To me, that sounds like you're trying to mislead the customer. But at the same time, people are always trying to like avoid the bad stuff and be healthier. So sure, slap the organic word in it. It's like, what can you trust? You can only trust the stuff that you grow in your garden. Definitely. And let's see. Oh, hey there, Jordan. Y'all, let's welcome Jordan. That's my man right there. Well, not the man in my life, but he's like one of my best friends ever. So I'm so excited to see him. So excited. So now we have two Jordans. So I guess you're gonna be the web man, and then Jordan is gonna be Jordan. That Jordan. Jordan and Jordan. Maybe that's how I should go about it. Hey Jordan and hey Jordan. Nah, that sounds terrible. So yeah, you're gonna be the web man. Yes, I remember. That's all good. Only you and me know about smoothies. Yep. I like a little marijuana here and there, but it definitely can be a self-limiting drug if overused. I hear something about when you are using marijuana, it's like you enter like some kind of otherworldly state or something. I'm not sure how it was described to me as, but yeah, it's like your personality just changes. I cannot imagine what that's like being under the influence of something. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna try that because I know I'm not. I'm too chicken, but yeah, everyone really rates the weed like it's the joint, like it's the the greatest thing ever. Maybe it is, and I'm just missing out. But I just do not care for trying it. And it has a particular smell too that I just don't care for. And I'm like, why does that cigarette smell so weird? And then that's when I was introduced to the fact that, there's the weed and there's the cigarette stuff. Yep. Everyone is different, thus wonder for some and causes nothing but problems for others. Zamri is so fun to talk to, never boring, wonders. Cigarettes are disgusting, though they are much stinkier than marijuana. You know what? That is actually pretty true because the folks who I know who smoke cigarettes, they have like that ashy smell, right? Whereas the folks who smoke the weed, it's a scent that definitely lingers on your clothes, but for some reason, it can be a little more passable, tolerable than others. Am I making any sense? It's kind of difficult to explain, but yeah, definitely I can sniff out that difference. Women gotta be careful their body, the way women are carrying babies. Oh my god, that too. Oh my god. I remember one time I was reading something about this one trend or whatever, where some women, I think it had to be in an European country, let's say Sweden or something like that. Many women were upset because supposedly they were being deprived of drinking alcohol when you're pregnant. And I'm like, yes, because alcohol is proven that it'll mess up your baby if you drink it during your pregnancy. But for some reason, you're trying to say that that's something to keep you all oppressed and miserable. And I'm like, no, lady, you have a responsibility growing inside of you. So just make conscious decisions because then you're going to have this baby. It's going to be born with problems. And then you're going to be like, well, my baby, this and that. And like looking for us to pity you or some shit. And I'm like, no, you make terrible decisions. When you make terrible decisions, there are consequences. So, like, if I find that, I'll do a stream about it and then show you guys what I'm talking about. But I just could not believe that I live in an age where that's being used as an argument. Like, I want to drink, but I'm pregnant and people are telling me that I cannot drink when I'm pregnant. No, 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 forget this. No, I say that I am going to drink. So, yeah, no, yeah. All the pregnant women out there, just don't do that. Don't be an idiot. It's not your child's fault. I am a hard body alcohol. It helps me take punches against two men. Ruda. Yes, Amri, the laugh faces I sent you about your hair got close to the camera, about people's breasts, things. Been there before. Yep. It's all about corporate control of seeds. Just call me Webby. Oh, yeah. Whammy. Whammy. Everybody, whammy. Whammy. Everybody. Zamri, you're my best friend. Yay, I love it. Whee! No, marijuana definitely doesn't put you in a different world. How whoever told you that is either A has never smoked or B are very inexperienced with it themselves. Weed is very mild, not a very intense thing at all, although it is worse for some people than others. Maybe whammy. I just so happened to meet person B, or well, the person who experiences it a little differently one too many times. Cigarettes is loaded with chemicals, probably has a lot to do with that. Yeah, like I will never forget, I was in seventh grade taking health class, and one of the things that my teacher highlighted was the fact that it had an ingredient that's pretty much nail polish remover, acetone, and even like the stuff in roads, tarmac or something. I just could never get that out of my brain. Never. And I'm like, that is why anybody who smokes cigarettes, you're like, what the fuck is that smell? You smell a whole load of everything, but you cannot define it. You know? So I always wondered what that was about. It looks all brown and mush and stuff inside it. But when it's lit, what even is that? It's the scent of the entire planet just burning. But of course, a lot of it is just chemicals that don't even exist out there in nature. It's weird. It sounds like the Franken pipe. Like there's so much rolled up in that paper, and we don't even question it. And don't even get me started on the prices of it. Like $6 a pack, $7 a pack. Like who can afford that? Damn. You know, that alone is a big discourager for me, if that's a word. It's not a word, but anyways. Hello, Mike. Mike, I'd like to try helium while smoking marijuana. I think I'd be laughing my butt off. Zambi, you can call me Jay if you like to. I like Jordan. We need a Jordan. So you're gonna be Jordan, and then Jordan. Jordan is going to be Whammy. Whammy the Whap Man. Whammy goes way back. If you use modern medicine, you are technically a GMO human. Heck yeah. Oh my god, I never thought about that. I'm so glad that you put it like that. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Could be worth trying. My laugh definitely changes when I'm high. Would change more on helium, you would think. Now I'm curious. Now it's like, what's the laugh of a high person and what's the laugh of a non-high person? Now the people who I know who mess with that, it's like, what is their real laugh? I will have to go up to them, sniff them, and then if you have that suspicious smell, it's like, okay, this is the laugh of the high man. But if you don't, then that's just your natural, normal laugh. God, I have so many questions now and so many experiments to run. Oh man, this has been mind blowing. People, how about vitamins of juices? Speed is very dangerous. Make your heart beat faster. Stay up all night like a robot. Oh my god! Energy drinks, monster drinks, Don't even get me started on that. I tried a monster drink when I was like 17 years old. And I was like, this makes me, only two sips made me feel like so jittery, so hyper. I could feel my heart rate was different. And I'm like, my friends are drinking this every day. How are you not dead, bruh? Like, I'll never forget my friend at the time. Like, she would have those things and drink it like it was water. Girl. But yeah, I'm too weak. Basically, anything that's strong, anything alcoholic, anything cigarette, I just, I'm weak. Forget about it. Thanks, Zamri, for the kindness. People have died from hitting helium. Balloons are killers. I cannot even explain the difference. I never notice until people mention it, but then it becomes obvious. It's like more of a lingering laugh. A lingering laugh. You mean like a ha 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 kind of laugh? Like I laugh a little slower and it carries on more when I smoke. Maybe a more relaxed laugh. When I'm sober, it's just more short and sweet, I guess. I would imagine that a drunk laugh is more like a squirrely, like, and then the high, I guess being high is a depressant, triggered by a depressant. Everything is slower. However, when you're experiencing the side effects of it, it's not a depressant. You're clearly not depressed when you're on it. So, depressant meaning slowing down your system, and then a stimulant being, the other thing, like caffeine, central nervous system stimulant. So I guess that's why your laughs would be different. It's like you're having a more slowed down laugh. That's weird. I need to look this shit up. Everybody, find me links to videos of these types of laughs. I must investigate and look into this, and my life will never be the same. Anytime I hear someone laughing, I'm gonna be questioning the hell out of it. Like, is this person a genuine laughing person, or is this person laughing under the influence? There's driving under the influence, now there's a laughing under the influence. What are you being influenced by? You are too happy. You're suspiciously happy. I must know what you're recurring to be so, happy. It's weird. Energy drinks make me sleepy after two sips. Reaction times are a little slower when smoking marijuana for sure, although it seems to make certain things quicker. The way I interpret that is, let's say that you're sparring with someone. Okay? Huh, huh, huh. Suddenly, here comes the blow. You receive it, and then that's when your reaction kicks in and you go, ugh, to attempt to dodge it way after you have been struck. Did I get that right? It's like you're getting hit, you receive the hit, and then after you get hit, that's when you dodge it and get out of the way. For some reason, that's the picture that came to my mind when I read that. My reaction is a little slower. So it's like, okay, huh, huh, huh. After you get hit, that's when you dodge. I don't know why, but that's the picture that came to my mind. It looks a whole lot funnier in my brain than what I just explained. You just have to trust me about that one. Or maybe I should make a video in which I illustrate the point. I giggle when I am drunk. I also say some funny stuff. Everybody seems to report that they're always finding everything funny when they are drunk. It's like my mom described her only drunk experience as it seemed like the wall was coming toward me. I was trying to sit down, but everything felt like it was spinning. And on top of that, I was laughing about everything, giggling about everything. And your father had to carry me up the steps. And he couldn't because we couldn't tell if he was holding me or if I was holding him or if we were holding each other. And I'm like, that's just fantastic. I am not interested in that at all. Let's see. For example, if you train in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I've always wanted to learn Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and build muscle memory. You are more likely to attack certain submissions far quicker just off instinct and muscle memory when high. That makes a lot of sense. Because it's like your body is running on autopilot. I know people smoking weed at work on their break. You know what? It happens over here too. Sparring is a good example too, actually, Sam. I remember it's on about GM powertrain. I'm glad that you're smiling again, Sam. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I think when you are fairly experienced, you still avoid those strikes, punches you mentioned because you see them coming a little sooner than the average person based on your opponent's body language. If you're sparring and see your opponent move even slightly, you know a strike is likely coming. So you move your head right away, even before actually seeing the strike coming. That makes a lot of sense because sometimes when I observe some facts, I'm like, did that person literally just plant their face in the direction that the blow was coming? Why? Did they trip with their reaction, or did the other person fool them when they were anticipating a strike that was coming from the left, but it ended up coming from the right? And yeah, now that you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense now. But when you think about it, fighting is one of those things that is absolutely like everything in life, it's psychological. So if you do not train your mind adequately, then yeah, yeah, your senses end up betrayed. It's one of those things where I would imagine put aside your senses and all that you know, stop thinking about your moves and just let what is it, instinct take over. But I'm not a fighter. I've never fought. I don't know a thing about it, so I cannot sit here and be, generating an opinion. But I sense that that's what it may be like. But then you have to be careful. They're not just faking a strike to set you up and throw you off. Oh yeah. I guess that is what I just described. I should have read that, unless that arrived after, way after. Um, just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you understand, and it becomes easier, and the easier it becomes. Yes, getting high or drunk makes you laugh at everything, or the medicine oxygen getting your teeth pulled out. When I get high, I like to go home and watch food videos while I eat popcorn. Weed gave me anxiety outside. I hate smoking weed outside. You know what? This time last year, I discovered some of Gordon Ramsay's videos, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Why am I so addicted to the foolery that this man says? And it's because I was fascinated by the gross stuff that was being highlighted in that channel or in those videos, and I'm like, fuck me. You go to restaurants and you're never thinking about what may be happening behind those swinging doors. You have the right idea for sure. Weed is good for creativity. I feel like the greatest joke writer, rap lyricist when I get high. You know what? Aren't most rappers and stuff usually talking about drugs and high and all that? Well, they're getting paid millions. They're writing junk. Or should I say, they're being helped at writing stuff. Because not every singer out there writes their stuff. You know what I mean? So, but when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense. I guess for some people, the recreational use of this stuff is an escape. Like, for some reason, your mind does not accomplish those purposes without the intervention of those drugs, chemicals, and stuff. See what I mean? It's like, for me, naturally, I'm someone who is super energetic. I do not have a single drop of caffeine in me, usually. Like, the only time I get caffeine is if I drink the green tea that I picked up because I totally was not paying attention. I did not see that it didn't say that it was caffeine free. It does have caffeine in it. But even when I go ages without being exposed to caffeine, I'm hyper. I don't need it as a source of energy. I don't need sugar as a burst source of energy to then experience the crash. You know what I mean? It's like you have that time where you mess with sugar, and then it's like, okay, all is fun and games, and then the crash just follows immediately afterward, and that's terrible. I have been a victim of that. It's like when you add more energy to someone who's naturally energetic, it's like too many wrong things coming together. Like two crashes combining. Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. Is it bad that I cannot attach a face to that name? Wheat makes people want sweets. Really? Huh. Ramsey is a beast as well. Absolutely. Cakes, ice cream, candy bars, and more. Most rappers definitely smoke. Uh huh. Yeah, like, is there a rapper out there who has never had drugs in their lyrics? Citation needed. Or link needed. I At work, I'm that one person who is always moving, always looking for things to do. The only time I am not wandering around looking for stuff to do is when there is something in my mind that I am absolutely coldly calculating. And what I do is I grab a piece of paper and I jot down whatever it is that I have in my mind so that I can let go of the matter and get back to physically moving. Because if you ever see me like paralyzed and I'm just like focused on something, a lot of people do that to me. I am staring at something and then they stare in the direction that I am staring at and they look at my eyes again and they stare in the direction that I'm looking at again and they go, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Nothing." It like I'm not just going to stand with my eyes closed because that's A, I don't trust myself out in public with my eyes closed, and B, it's just weird. But when I focus my gaze on something, you better believe that my brain is going a million miles per hour. And if I don't snap out of it by writing it down, it's like I'm lost in that trance indefinitely. So I'm not gonna say weed would help me, but now I'm curious. I'm like, oh, if weed helps you slow down, then the problem I have with that statement is that the folks who I know who mess with it are too painfully slow for me. And I'm like, dude, can you move faster? Dude, can you. Why are you so chill? You know? And it's not like I'm jittery and just overstressed and I'm that person who's like, I'm not like that. My kind of energy is your girl gets stuff done and she does not get fatigued. But there's people who are just slow at everything. Walk slowly, write slowly, type slowly, like work slowly. I lose it. Like, no, move. Why aren't you moving? Why are you taking your time? How can you be taking your time? Pick up the pace, please. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess now it's gonna be like, this is a potential weed user. Have I identified a weedy? Because you're moving way too slow, blah. Way too slow. Let's see. Where am I at? But I haven't smoked weed in about 3.5 weeks now. Dr. Dre was the first rapper ever rapping about weed in 1992, sold 13 million copies from Death Row Records. The album called The Chronic. Doesn't doesn't Eminem have a song that talks about that, like Kryptonite, the Green Chronic Demonic? Oh, I remember. The name of that song is called Rain Man. And I actually used it for like 5 seconds on one of my videos. I remember that now. He says something about Dr. Dre being in his basement or something. Yeah, crazy lyrics. For some reason, that was my teenage music. Like, I so grew out of that. If you can call it growing out of that, because I'm like, what is a 12, 13-year old doing listening to this stuff? Of course, I did not play that music from speakers. I always had my little earplugs on because my mother would have asked me more questions than I was actually prepared for or willing to be prepared for. Let's see. Yes, weed makes people want all kinds of sweets and they go crazy. They eat any sweets. Weed is excellent for creativity, only an alcoholic would say that. Smoking weed is boring. I make recreational tinctures and edibles that will make you want to call the ambulance. I am pretty sure these people have baby lungs. Why would anyone want to call an ambulance? Only time weed is good from the hospital, but the streets and evil hospitals got good drugs, not bad drugs in the streets. Hi, I mean, hey Viking. Hi, I mean, on slowness, some people are just not built that way. You know what? Good point. I must remember that everyone is different from me. Not everyone is as young. Not everyone has the same swiftness. Not everyone has the same coordination. Not everyone has the same just stamina, resistance, resilience, perseverance, determination, focus. Especially, there's people who I wonder, how the hell do you lose focus? Like, seriously, it's like you cannot finish a task from the moment you initiate it. You cannot seem to complete it. Why? You know, I have never struggled with focus except when I have been overwhelmed with like a lot of stuff in my mind and when I'm sick, like the months when I get my days and my cramps are just excruciatingly painful, I'm like, okay, I gotta focus from how much pain I'm in. But in the end, it's like I don't lose my stuff, you know, I don't lose my mind or anything. But there's a lot of people who admit that their attention span is incredibly limited. And even during the times when my attention span was just non existent, I wasn't tripping, you know? It's crazy. So for me, I get curious as to what is it like to have a mind of someone who struggles with focus, you know? Like attention deficit or something. Um, if you have baby lungs, what do tinctures and edibles have to do with lungs? Because they will be so high they will want to willingly go to the hospital. All rappers rap about weed, yep. Kryptonite, the green chronic, demonic, yep. Don't worry, I'm on it. I got it. Something shady. Head in the microwave, flew around like a balloon, can of chicken tuna, uh, peanut butter jelly chicken tuna sandwich. I don't even gotta make no goddamn sense. I just made a whole song and I didn't say shit. Huh? 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 I know I skipped around the lyrics, but I haven't heard that song in like from beginning to end in 7 years, 8 years. So that I could feel my brain matter changing trying to recall those lyrics. uh, where am I at? I understand that, but why would they want that? Wouldn't they rather just enjoy their high? Trash weed, it did not get me high. I am from the Caribbean, baby lungs confirmed. You say weed is boring, like people should want to pay hospital bills every time they get high. Getting demonetized, but I'm here for the fun of it, and for you guys definitely. And oh, my stream better not crash. It's threatening to, but it'll be alright. Um, it is the first natural reaction. It makes you afraid to fall asleep. I'm from Northern Maine, which is basically Canada. Our I heard stuff about the Maine accent and how it sounds like a Canadian accent. I must look it up because I have no idea what a Maine accent sounds like. I'm from the South, so you can imagine I have a different expectation. But a cool accent that I have heard is the Rochester, New York accent. Accent. Feeling the urge to say others have baby lungs just shows your level of insecurity on the subject. Oh boy. I've never had a panic attack from smoking weed. You've got the wrong guy, my friend. Concentration and the associated focus is somewhat. Wait, let me start over. Concentration and the associated focus is something that can, to a degree, be trained through practice. There is a lot of things in modern culture that supports short attention spans. You know what? Yes. Because when I think about it, I feel like my mother at home used to expose me to exercises that reinforced my ability to A, retain things, B, follow directions, and C, remain focused. Because as a child, my what can I say? My urge was I'm doing this, I get bored, let me move on to a more fun task. And then she would be like, what are you doing? Why are you not studying anymore? Get back to studying. And then she would sort of like use a threatening mechanic to like intimidate me, and that would discourage me from losing track because I know that the consequences were going to be painful. So I feel like because in modern days parenting styles are severely different from what it used to be, it's like we're not training those senses, just like you said. But when I think about the kind of upbringing that I had, it was very, very focused, very invested, very like my mother did not just half ass like raise me. She was there observing me, policing me, scolding me and stuff. So many years of that, it's like I can just naturally go back to what I was doing because I think about the consequences before anything else. Even though presently it would be very illegal for anybody to like strike me like that, but it worked. I definitely don't have problems now. So at the time, I used to think my mother was a monster, but now it's like I'm glad that I went through all of that. Canadian high price baby long weed. Think about it. You still smoking doo doo weed. High five, Nick Lucky. Stick a pin in Jessica's head and walked away. Yeah, that's the part of the lyrics that I missed. It starts, you find me offensive, I find you offensive for finding me offensive. Hence, if I should draw a line on any fences, it's sort of extensive. Then I should go because it's getting expensive being on the other side of the courtroom in the defensive. They say I cause extensive psychological nerve damage to the brain when I go to what? Anyways, for other people's expenses, I say you're all just too goddamn sensitive. It's censorship. That's it. My star moment is over. I cannot remember what comes next. Um, insecure much? Don't you have a burning building to be saving females from, my dude? Or did your stroke ruin you? Oh boy. When I smoke weed, I cannot get high anymore. My lungs don't work, main boo boo weed. Only time weed is good for the sick people from the hospitals. Anyway, I'm not here to hijack Sam's stream. Feel free to continue if you need. I used to smoke a half an ounce a day in the Caribbean. Baby lungs, you still get high smoking. Speaking of the accents reference that I mentioned earlier, who out there says Caribbean and who out there says Caribbean? I had a discussion with a friend about this and we could not arrive at a consensus. So, what does the comment section say? So, Caribbean or Caribbean? So, in all caps, do you say rib or do you say bean? So, yeah, someone tell me. What do you guys say? Because everyone just sounds different, especially British people. Like, good God, I just feel like I have never spoken English before anytime I speak to a Briton, not Britain. Um, When I smoke weed, I can. Okay, I already read that. I used to smoke half an ounce. Okay. Hi, you're from the south. I'm from way further south than you are. Might? I hear, for some reason, I don't know if it's my ears playing tricks on me, but I feel like my Aussie people, you guys tend to say might, 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 might. I'm not even going to try to do an impression of an Aussie accent because I have not been exposed to it enough. But but yeah, I kind of hear that like might. Hello, might. Hiya, might. Anyways, you tell me if I'm wrong. Because another thing was I have a British friend, and he was completely unaware of what I call the intrusive R disease, which I personally sometimes have slip ups of. And it wasn't until I heard someone say it consecutively that I was like, wait, that is not me misspeaking. There is actually some people out there who naturally sound like that. It's like if you end with an A and there's like a vowel following the next word for some reason, like the meteorist, this and that, and I'm like, you know what? I heard that, and I'm like, why is there an R? Am I tripping, or is someone truly saying an R? And it was so insane for me. And I was listening to a channel that had a guy with a British accent in it, and I'm like, he has it. And then there's this one guy who makes videos about like no, it's like a knowledge kind of channel, and he's a bald guy with glasses. He kind of looks like the Avi from Twitter, egg shaped, and I'm like, some people in the comments called him an egghead, and I'm like, that's gotta be terrible. Because for me, I remember the frequent comments that I used to get, and I'm like, this is so mean, but it kind of reminds me of the egg shaped Twitter Avi. And then he also had like an intrusive R situation, and I'm like, great, it's not me, but yeah, the idea of it, and I'm like, when I used to say the word idea followed by a vowel, that's when I caught myself having the R situation, and I'm like, where does that come from? Like, am I misspeaking or is someone influencing me? And then when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, right. In linguistics, there is the intrusive R that these people come up with. You say R's where there aren't any, and where there are R's, you ignore them. What is wrong with you? I cannot trust you. So, yeah, I tend to have fights with my best friend over that. But, anyways, just thought I would share that because it was mind blowing for me. You smoke weed up north. The South has better weed. The South has better weed, said no one ever. The weed up north tastes like pure chemicals. Congratulations, the weed grows natural in the South. They say I cause extensive psychological nerve damage to the brain when I go to lengths. This is for other people's expenses. Yep. Good, the weed noob confirmed. Oh boy, I love it. Although you guys are like going back and forth at each other, it's like, can you please keep going? Because this is entertaining. You guys should definitely host a stream, like where you guys are just like having at each other. I'm not trying to promote like that, but I don't know. I find it entertaining. I'm a terrible person. Because you guys are going back and forth on a topic that I know nothing about, so I find that fascinating. Like, please keep the drama going. But yeah, I have nothing to contribute. It's okay, pal. We can't all be winners. I say it with the bean, not the Caribbean version. Caribbean. I personally like to say Caribbean, but if I say the movie title Pirates of the Caribbean, that's how I say it. But really, I guess it depends on my sentence structure and what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I say Caribbean, sometimes I say Caribbean. But if I am conversing with someone who says Caribbean first, I feel more inclined to say it like they say it for consistency's sake, but it gets a little weird afterward. It's like whatever comes out, as long as you understand what it is that I'm saying, I don't care how you say it. But yeah, it's crazy how we're all just different. I don't smoke weed equals waste of money and a high. And good day, mate, mostly. Good day. And it's good day, mate, mostly. Mate, mate, mate. I wish that somehow you guys could, like for me to have like a button that I can push so that you guys can vocalize the comments and then I can hear how it is that you guys sound and how you guys say it. But I have seen some of Viking's videos, so I do have a good idea of how he sounds like. But yeah, it's interesting. We all sound different. Um yeah, I think anyone reading this chat knows you don't smoke, nor do you know anything about it. I literally said I don't smoke weed anymore because my tolerance is shot. I also said I make weak tinctures and edibles, fallback baby lungs. Uh, whoever is mean is a hater, and whoever is kind is a blessing. Well, sometimes I can be like a negative influence, just trolling my life away, but I mean no harm. I truly do. Regarding the Aussie accent, there are some differences depending on what state you're from. It's not pronounced as the American state variations. It's not as pronounced as the American state variations. Yeah, it was so shocking for me that we're in the same nation, but somehow we still have different sounds. But when you think about it, it's not incredibly shocking because there are things that will influence your culture, like the landforms, for example, and the influences that you have had. Like some places have been able to maintain their native ways, other places got conquered by, say, the Europeans, and other people simply never left, they never moved and stuff. So, yeah, it really depends on your influences. Mm, you clearly do not have a base level understanding of how marijuana works. Your lungs have nothing to do with your immunity to it. Try again, hero. Carrie B. Ann. Okay, Carrie Bean. If you build up a tolerance for weed, you can simply abstain from it a short period of time and you'll get high again. Claiming otherwise proves your ignorance. What's the difference about what the weed comes from? North and south still make people sky high, still make the person brain messed up. You know what? I wondered about that. I'm like, weed quality. Yes, I would like to place an order for southern weed. It's better. It's special. I would like to order some northern weed. But you know what? It's true because crops, depending on where you grow them, the quality will vary. Just like there are seasons for everything, like you cannot expect to find good watermelons in the winter when they are a summer fruit. So, is wheat like that? Like, do you have a month where it just is harvested better, or I know nothing. I know nothing. Um, or your weed is just so garbage it isn't getting you high, nothing to do with your tolerance. I'm only continuing this debate because Zam said it's entertaining, not trying to derail her stream here. Oh, please. I already said what I needed to say at the beginning of the stream, so we are at the stage where the stream goes wherever it wants to go, you know? That's why when I start streaming, I keep going and going. Um, with what it is that I want to say before, the other topics take over. But yeah, please, if you guys ever want to say anything, you're free to say anything. Like, I'm not policing this at all. And yeah, Ollie, when he's around, he's a moderator, but honestly, I set him as moderator because there was a time in which someone just kept flooding my stream with junk, and I'm like, I have to scroll through the mess that you're sending, and you're wasting my time and everybody else's time. Basically, a spammer. So I said, dude, if you ever see someone like that, just shut them up for me. Um. Also, Zam's reading a lot of comments that aren't showing up for me. Only seeing Garuda and the Aussie comments. What? Seriously? Oh yeah, you guys have expressed that problem in the past. There is nothing that I can do about that, unfortunately. But some people have reported that they cannot see comments from others. Interesting. I'll look at my settings just in case there is something that I can do about it. Because in the past, I have noticed that when you guys post something, it automatically sends it for me to approve for some reason. And I'm like, there's no cuss word, there's no flaming, there's no disrespect in the comment. So it's just YouTube tripping. But that's why I like to read the comments and not just reply to them, since it also creates a record of what was being said. So um, where am I at? Hey sis, what's good? Zamri, not just, of course, not. I'm talking about other people. You're a cool person, and me, I'm never perfect at all. Also at sexy Aussie. That's a hell of a beard. Much credit to you for that. Mine is a mere mortal beard compared to that godly man. I love that so much. Webby, you call your beard having a rodent on your face. I absolutely love it, man. I love it. Much credit to you for that compared to that godly man. That's amazing. Your hair looks gorgeous, sis. How is it so curly? Well, this is the result of the genetic uh, combination of both of my parents. If I were to straighten it, it is officially down to my tailbone. That had never happened before. The longest I had ever had it was about an inch shy of being down to my waist. So, yeah, you guys, at some point I'll attempt straightening it, but yeah. 2015, I used to have it like right here. The thing about it is, I love short hair because it's easy to deal with, but then I miss my long hair. I feel like I'm bald when I cut it. But then when I have it long, all I want to do is like, stretch it and just mess with it and basically create a shirt out of it. And oh god, it touched my glasses lens, so now it has a smudge on it. But anyways, I appreciate that. Um, yeah. Where am I at? Blondes, paper, or bong? How many weeds do you smoke daily? Weed is a different smell. Cheers, thanks, Webby. I haven't smoked weed in 3.5 weeks now. Thank God I don't smoke weed, cannot be no follower. Sis, you gotta show me how you get your hair so long. Help a sister out here. Well, it is my understanding that it is important what you put in your body. So if I had to give any recommendations, I would say make sure that you consume protein. I would imagine that that helps your hair grow better. I definitely need to trim the split ends, but it's all right. And just keep it hydrated. I would say you need to figure out what kind of scalp do you have, because some people have oily scalps, and then you need to wash your hair more often because it retains more dirt. And then other people don't have much oil going on at all, so you may have to apply some. I'm personally someone who produces a lot of oil, so I only use oil on the ends of my hair. And yeah, you guys, I am going to speed read through the more recent comments, and after that, yeah, girl has to go because my mommy and I have a gym date to assist to. So, but I'll be back. I'll be around. Yeah, let me see. What did you say? God, I really wish I could stop the scroller wherever it is that I read the last comment. Smoked some blonde bubble hash and a little gorilla glue this week, but currently saving money, so not indulging. I will smoke all of your Canadian weed and then save some while you're sleeping, then make it tincture or edible. Noob. It had been such a long time since I saw the word noob spelled like that. Working myself into indispensability as a replacement for Dusty Heel, Gandalf, or Dumbledore. Oh, Dumbledore! Dumbledore! you know, Viking, all this time, I have been wanting to make a Dumbledore reference, but I was shy. Every time I see someone with a grayish epic beard, I'm like, like the Harry Potter theme just plays in the back of my mind. I make weed soup. Let that sink in. When I am smoking it, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. It could be anything from a pipe to a bong, to joints, blunts, dabs, usually through a dab ring or hash. Just depends. I don't smoke for others. Fantastic. Jordan, hey, I think I see what you did there. If that's not a typo, I think I see what you did there. Most of that chemical is trash. I can cook it to prove that it's fake weed. Why do you do so much with weed if you don't smoke it? You're not lying to us, are you, Garuda? I don't spray anything. I'm not a skunk. Huh. Someone said smoking weed makes you a follower. Lol, one. I'm telling you, this was entertaining. You're still smoking. I used to smoke weed and not get high. You like the fake chemical weed? I'm trying to not laugh. Garuda, you're saying things that don't even make sense and you just keep repeating them like that makes them any more true. Oh boy. Do you grow your own weed or buy it at a pharma company? If weed isn't getting you high, it's because your weed is garbage. Bye till next time. Bye, Mike. Have a good night, Sam. See you, Webby. I'm so glad that you joined us in the stream. So glad to see you. 98% of hair growth is genetic. Oh, yeah, that's true. Everyone, absolutely everyone in my family had epic long hair. So um, I just never tried to grow it like this. And I see $2. Oh, thanks a lot, Wolfie. Thanks a lot for contributing. I appreciate that so much. I promise I won't do this in the future streams. So you said it was entertaining, so I kept going. Yes, please do it. I am encouraging it. Like maybe if you go to other people's streams, maybe I don't know how they feel about it, but in my stream, you guys are welcome to do anything. This is your channel. Like, I'm just here being the face and the host. I created the account, but you guys can feel free to take over. Like, this is for everyone to just hang out and get together. But of course, if something is getting out of control, then that's when I'll be like, okay, please don't like hurt each other. But yeah, I found that fucking entertaining. So I enjoyed it. Like if you see any videos of troll comments that I have received, I'm a troll myself. So I'm just, I guess I'm a, what is it? Non-lethal troll. It's like you can tell that I'm not trying to harm anybody with the kind of trolling that I do. It's more me picking on you more than anything. Um, my buddies and I all grow our own weed, both inside and outside. Never put weed in brownies, so dangerous, can kill people. Oh, I heard about that a long time ago. I occasionally buy weed to try it out. She's laughing at you, Garuda. How does that feel knowing that Sam thinks you're ridiculous? Fake spray weed, you're smoking GMO weed, noob. You're still high of that boo boo weed. Say it again, maybe it'll be true next time. But I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you. Scratch that, hold your breath. You would be doing us all a favor. Weed in brownies won't kill people, by the way. That's purely false. Best weed is grown in Hawaii. Wait, is that Maui, Wowie, or Maui, Wowie? I want to say Maui Wowie because it sounds more repetition. And I see US too. Oh, thanks again. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, I think Vikings comment is gonna be the last one I read, and then after that, your girl has to. Something to consider is that if you want to have more direct discussions with those watching you, you could always do you now streaming where you can invite another to video chat in the stream. Is that a YouTube thing, Viking? Because I've never heard of that before. Um, yeah, I've never heard of that before. There are ways that other people, like the PS4, there's people who send the invites to each other, but I don't do that. So that's the only other way that I knew of. And then someone was telling me about how you can run some program that through a Skype call we can be both on the screen or something. I'm just not tech savvy at all. But yeah, if you would like to DM me the details about that, and then I'll get around to it because I never heard of that before. Yeah, I'm definitely not tech savvy. I love this video so much. Classic by them and go your day. Hugs to you. Peace, Zams. Talk to you, Zoom. Peace, Webby. So good to see you. You now is different site, but you can link the stream to your YouTube channel so it gets posted here. Oh, cool. That's what it sounded like that my friend and I were talking about with the split screen stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Please message me about it because I will not know what I'm doing.